Welcome to Fight with Love show. We're here to talk about all the holistic medicines and education on how we're going to use natural healing to gain our health back. So thank you so much for tuning in. Good morning everyone, thank you for joining us at Fight with Love show. Today we are very excited to have Charito Kaay, our world-rounded, very wholesome wellness coach here to share some of her experience and also her information about holistic health. So welcome here, Charito.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So, as a certified whole food nutrition and lifestyle coach, in your opinion, what causes us illness?
That's a very good question. In my opinion, personal opinion, illness is a condition in the body that has been created through our lifestyle and our choices in life. And as a whole food nutrition and lifestyle coach, I assess what those things in our life that are impacting our health. We are a very complex machine, and things require input, and we also have export. But what we're being exposed to, the environment, the people, the food that we put in our body also somehow has to be exited out of our body. And so there is a balance in how that is affected. And illness and conditions, in fact, are the solution to what is going on with our body. If we have a fever, it means our body needs to lower its temperature down or increase our temperature in our body. And a fever raises our temperature to kill the bacteria and viruses.
So it's actually a good thing.
It's a good thing.
For a short period of time.
For a short period of time, because our immune system isn't kicking on high gear. If we are sneezing, we are trying to expel something out of our nose into our respiratory area.
Great, that's actually a very good perspective that we lost that knowledge through the years as we are so immersed in the Western medicine. It becomes the mainstream and sole medicine that we're using. Having holistic and traditional medicine is such a gift because we can take charge of our own health again, and we're not waiting for an authority to tell us what to do. So as you were talking, I can hear a lot of logic and engineering, way of looking at a problem as an illness. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, how you come about as a healer, a wellness life coach? What brings you here, and what your background has contributed to you at this stage of life?
My background, in fact, is as an environmental engineer. I was quite passionate as a child to protect our environment, the air that we breathe, the water and the soil in which we grow our plants and vegetables. And through that, I saw a way of becoming an engineer where I created an environment that the earth heals itself. We nourish it so that the bacteria that's living inside of the soil helps to remediate or remove contamination and put back nutrients into the soil, the air, and also our water. And that approach has led me to the way I see my own health journey as well. 10 years ago, I had a health challenge. I was quite stressed out as a high executive. And using my own logic and engineering mindset, I saw myself as an environment that I look at what's coming in and what's going out. First thing I needed to do was educate myself about what I was putting in my body, which was food. So first thing I did was become educated on the types of food that are going to provide the best nutrition possible for my body. Then I also looked at detoxification. How am I going to make my body most efficient at removing the toxins that have already been in my body for 30 years and expel that and make it the most efficient machine, input and exporting out of my body.
That's actually very interesting because you talk about your body as almost like an environment and really seeing it as a living organism. Whereas, a lot of times when we, even just talking about biology, we look at the body as a machinery, like different parts, different system, and when we look at a disease in the Western medicine perspective, you really just look at locally. If one illness arises, it's either an organ failed or a system that failed. But as you mentioned, our body is like a piece of land. There's an ecosystem that's going on. Everything is affecting each other. So if you're just focusing on one thing, it's really difficult to maintain the balance and health, right? And so in your way, like how did you get better? Like you mentioned that you were quite sick. Can you share? Do you mind to share with us that what kind of illness that you were struggling and what do you choose to get yourself better?
In terms of the diagnosis, there really truly wasn't one on a physiological and physical level. What they were able to provide a diagnosis with so I could go on short-term health leave was anxiety.
A lot of people share with you.
Right, anxiety. And on a physical level, I felt a lot of pain in my body, lower back pain, inability to concentrate. And further along the road, I was able to get a diagnosis where I could get a prescription for thyroid medication. But once I investigated more about how this would have manifested itself, thyroid produces hormones to help us function. And I looked at the endocrine system and how the balance of hormones in our body was. So first and foremost, stress attacks our adrenals, which is near our kidneys, and produces cortisol. Then there's a chain of effects. So now there's an imbalance of the hormones. Cortisol has a purpose in our life. We need cortisol. However, with it continually coursing through our body on an ongoing basis, we're not able to utilize and produce insulin at the right time to metabolize our food. Then other hormones in our body such as estrogen, progesterone, and thyroid also goes out of balance as well.
Yes, from a Chinese medicine background, we're very passionate about how a lot of Western medicine diagnosis claiming that it was a thyroid problem, but actually is a kidney deficiency. So that I really appreciate how you clearly explain to our audience that our body is actually a lot more complicated than just different system and our four limbs that is actually working. So is there a particular method or a treatment that you do to make yourself feel better?
When I looked at my lower back, which is where the kidneys and adrenals are located, initially I was getting massage, I was going to the chiropractor. However, in that area as well is our spine, which creates signals to our brain. And on the front side of our body is our colon, our gut, where our digestive tract is. So food was first and foremost the most important thing to help nourish our body with good food and reduce the inflammation in the area of our gut.
So now that you had the experience and you look fine and healthy,
Yes.
so are you providing more information to people that you know as healer, life coach? How do you execute your knowledge and share that to the world? Because really, what you just mentioned, gut health, lower back pain, anxiety, all that you mentioned. A lot of us actually share the same pain. So, with your knowledge and with your experience, do you have some sort of service to help us and reach out?
I do. And when I first started this health journey, in fact, during my stress leave or health sabbatical from my engineering job, I started sharing my own story to the public. I did lunch and learns, volunteered my time with the vegan vegetarian community, and sharing how to incorporate fruits and vegetables in an easy way and educate people on what that looks like. A lot of times it's not tasty or they're not quite sure how to prepare it. So those workshops that I do are one-to-many, live in person. The other service I provide is webinars. So again, that's not live in person, but people can watch my videos, and that platform is typically on YouTube, Facebook, and then specifically for individuals, if they're looking for something concerning their own health, I have health consultations one-on-one. Could be a couple of sessions to nail down what their overall health care plan is, finding out what the cause of their condition is, and then send them on their way to get specific tests, or I will connect them with other health professionals that can continue the process. But a lot of times when people are ill or sick, it's all very confusing, the internet, and there is no overall project manager of their health. And that's what I can provide, is that overall project manager of health.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you basically talk to the person and you send them out to facilitate to different healthcare providers that are more suitable for it. But overall, we need to know what's going on in the condition of our body. So who would be the type of patient or clients that you think your service will be most suitable for?
The individuals that would truly benefit for my scientific evidence-based approach are those who are highly motivated to get to the root cause of their condition. Also family members that would be on board as well to helping the individual have success. These have been people with autoimmune issues such as Crohn's, cancer, Lyme disease, extreme conditions. However, I do help people who've realized that it's important, that preventative care is important.
Help them in their home, in their kitchen, and we can show them how to use the knife and chop their vegetables so that they can make it easy and fun and involve the entire family. I help people with one-on-one with the grocery tours and help them incorporate fruits and vegetables in a delicious way and transform their lifestyle.
It's all very overwhelming. And what is going to be something they can incorporate on a stepwise process? Because we can't transform overnight our health and lifestyle. It is a stepwise process. So small changes and then continuing the healthy habits.
Definitely. So for those that actually really want to take charge of their own health, will be very suitable for your service.
Right.
Yes. So with all that, you mentioned, what to expect if let's say I'm very interested in kind of getting a health makeover, I'll give you a call. What do I expect? Like, do I need a computer in front of me, or do I have to prepare anything? Do I need to get a diagnosis from my doctor, or do I collect all my X-rays and everything for you? What do you need?
Okay, it's a good question. Now what you're talking about is someone who's already has a lot of information, has been collecting data, and now is overwhelmed. For sure, I can help in that situation. There is ways for me to take a look at this information online if you give me access to that. You don't have to print everything out. But initially, when someone comes to me, we can start with an initial complimentary discovery call to determine what path we're going to take, whether it's just a quick little tune-up or a more ongoing relationship in terms of health. And initially, we'll have a phone call or an in-person meeting to talk about your health goals. And then from there, I'll say, provide me this information, provide me what you're currently doing, and it might also involve what supplements you're taking, maybe a little journal, if we're going to continue the path of providing me additional data of what actually is happening in your daily life. And not only what's going on with you, but I also take a look holistically at what are the inputs to you that have nothing to do with you. It could be family, it could be job, it could be where you live. I may come into your home and do an assessment of the environment that you continually expose yourself to. And that is very, very key. A toxin-free lifestyle can help us move us in a way of health rather than an environment suppressing our healing process. People are simply not aware of how the environment can affect us.
Definitely, because like from the Chinese medicine background, the four seasons and where you live is definitely directly affecting our own health. And again, as a living organism, we rely on the ecosystem. We rely on what's going on around us. And I really hope that my audience actually get to pay attention to all the information that Charito had to offer, because she had a brilliant mind, and she does explain health and wellness, something kind of ambiguous and overwhelming in our life right now, but yet we all know it's important. So thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us at Fight with Love. We'll see you again next week. My name is Susan Lee. Have a happy and healthy day. Bye-bye.
And you're always welcome to come back.